welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad and the Kaiju. We're your host, Mark and Sam. Today we'll be talking about Gamera. What is it? Gamera
Attack of Legion.
Attack of Legion, sometimes called Advent of Legion. Do you want to take this one away?
Yeah, okay. It seems like I might need to.
Right.
So the film was made in 1996, directed by Shusuke Kaneko. I'm probably getting that wrong, but it's set. I think it's a couple of years after the fight between the last film, where there was the fight between Gamera and Gauss.
Well, it's a distinct sequel, isn't
Yeah.
it? You can tell that it's a continuation of that story.
Yeah. But it opens with some weird, like, meteor showers going towards the planet.
Yeah.
And the next... It's like, so one night, there's like a brief sort of thing, there's like the next night, and then two security guards are wandering around this building, and they get attacked by this big insect creature.
Yeah, that's very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool. Yeah, go on.
And they report it, and then these weird plants cover the city. It's called Sapporo.
Yeah.
Again, I think that's how
Sapporo.
it's pronounced, I'm not sure.
Yeah, Sapporo, yeah. Yeah, this was weird. It kind of reminded me of War of the Worlds. You know,
Yeah.
the weird plants.
I think it was more like Destroyer. The
Yes,
monster.
the monster was, but I meant in concept. You know, with War of the Worlds, there's not only is it the Martians attacking, they bring
It's
their
the red
fauna
weed.
with them, the red weed, and it kind of reminded me of that. Though these plants are a little more. Well, there was that. Was there? I could never quite work out what it was. Was there a huge plant on top of this building?
There was multiple sporing plants, which were the
Yeah.
big ones.
Yeah.
And then there was like the insects that lived in it, which was Legion.
Yeah. So the implication was the meteors brought the Legion and the plants with them. Isn't
Yeah.
it, really.
Though I'm not sure if they're like the same being, like a hive sort of thing,
Yeah.
and the plants are just
Yeah, there's also that suggestion, isn't there, that they're like
Yeah.
a hive, and so in that case, those creatures will be building their nests, and that's what we'll be seeing. But I think they were plant.
yeah.
There were some bits were clearly some sort of plant thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool. I think that the film suffered a little in that the dubbing didn't quite match the story,
Nah.
so you couldn't quite follow what was going on. I got a feeling this one might be best seen in Japanese with subtitles, actually.
Yeah, there was like a weird bit where they just sort of pulled, they're weak to radios out of nowhere.
Yeah. It was a little odd. I kind of enjoyed this one.
Yeah.
Gamera was kind of a different design.
A little.
Well, yeah, a little, not massively different, but significantly, somewhat different. And I kind of liked the slight changes they made. I kind of liked his shell and stuff. They also did a different way he can travel around, which is kind of weird.
You got these it's like a turtle, sort of flippers, but held out like wings.
And he could fly like a jet plane.
Yeah.
Yes, wasn't it? So instead of,
Which is
I
kinda
like
funny.
the spinny thing. They did a bit of the spinny thing as well, but that's more like when he goes full Hulk, really, kinda. Whereas the flying thing was a bit more controlled.
Yeah.
And there was all this old pseudoscience about they increase the oxygen, which is a poison for everything. And you think, no, it isn't. What are you talking about?
Everything's more flammable, and that's it, really.
Yeah, everything's more flammable. But I like the idea of an alien horde changing the ecosystem to suit itself, which
Yeah.
is kind of an old sci-fi trope I remember seeing in, say, Quatermass 2,
Yeah.
going back quite a way. And of course, that's what we'd do if we went to another planet. We'd start
Yeah.
terraforming it. Though these aren't, I don't think these are meant to be intelligent creatures in terms of.
No, I think they
sentient.
just sort of do what they do,
They're
and
animals,
that's it.
in effect. Yeah. So it's got a touch of the Starship Troopers about it. In fact, the alien, while we're on that, the alien design was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
And it kept changing.
The
didn't
small
it?
bugs were okay, but when the big one came out, the one that fights Gamera,
Yeah.
that was cool.
And some of the little ones did look like toys.
Yeah.
And I think I read that they were actually toys that were going to be sold off the back of this film.
No, that was Destroyer. I
Was that
remember
in
you
Destroyer?
telling me
Yeah,
this.
okay, I'm getting confused.
Because they had their little toy tanks, so they needed something to...
Okay. I like the idea of Legion. And there's quite a lot of repeated biblical quote in this, which is, "My name is Legion, for we are many." You even see it in a there's a bit of newspaper headlines, English, written in English, and you see the quote, "We are... My name is Legion, for we are many," which is, take out of context, doesn't mean anything other than it's called Legion. There's lots of them. So I don't know quite why they keep saying that.
There was a really cool bit where the reason that there are these flowers is that they cause an explosion and fire another spore off into space.
Yeah.
Which is what the meteor was that first arrived.
Yeah. So this is just.
But this explosion is the force of a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. I mean, it was CG, and obviously CG from the 90s, but...
and the first one, Gamera stopped it launching full stop. The second one got knocked over, so it launched straight into the ground.
Yeah.
So there was just a huge explosion, and quite a cool one that levelled Sendai, which is another city in Japan. I think I might be getting the name pronunciation wrong, but...
Yeah. No, Sendai's right, I think.
Yeah.
We get the very, very... very, very repeated pattern in Gamera films where Gamera looks like he's been left for dead, pretty much.
Well, he does get left for dead.
Yeah, he does get left for dead.
He gets turned to carbon, pretty much.
The battles are pretty good in this.
Yeah.
How do you think this kind of... maybe this is jumping the gun a bit. How do you think this kind of rates compared to other Gamera films?
I think this it's the second best. I like the one before this better.
Yeah. I think it's a shame the dubbing was so weird in terms of the story. It didn't make any sense. In fact, I thought it was a pretty solid film, apart from the fact you couldn't follow what the humans were talking about, so you just had to rely on
the monsters
and getting it from the imagery rather than what the humans were saying. If you ignored that, it was kind of better. They were just confused. They just confused the issue, really. But there was a massive Legion, and there were lots of little ones, and how they interacted, I was never quite clear. I assume there was just one. Was it the Queen?
Yeah, it says on Wikipedia that the big one's called the Mother Legion.
Okay.
So let's just assume Queen.
There's some cool shots where there's little ones swarming all over Gamera, though. Yeah. He's kind of getting maddened by it. That was kind of cool.
I kind of expected him to do like
to his.
No, what you know how Godzilla has like that pulse he can do.
Yeah.
I was expecting him to do something similar to that, but
I mean, there were some weird powers shown in this one. The Mother Legion had like these electricity, like a Van de Graaff generator, electrical arcing going on, and all of this kind of stuff,
and
which is kind of cool.
Energy whips and
red one. It was red and blue, and was there red? There was red.
The red were the energy whips, and it used them to like spear Gamera a couple of times.
Yeah, essentially, Legion has destroyed pretty much doing massive damage to two cities. At this point, it becomes then Tokyo. So it looks like there's a third bloom going on.
Yeah, and we started making Highlander jokes. It like Gamera pulled off a huge chunk of the Mother Legion's head. Yeah. So they're like, there can be only one, and then the Mother Legion got up, and Gamera. It got weirdly appropriate because it looked like Gamera was having a quickening.
Well, it was a bit. That could have called this Gamera 2 the quickening. Yeah. Actually. There was also a plot involving one of the female characters somehow psychically bonding to Gamera and helping him some way, but it was very indistinct. It was very indistinct.
Not real.
Yeah. So that means there's a big fight in Tokyo. Yeah. The soldiers get persuaded that they need to help Gamera and not treat him as an enemy, so they actually start bombarding Mother Legion.
Yeah, and they
Legion.
As I said, they pull this weakness to radio out of nowhere. It attracts them for some reason, so they set up like a giant... they essentially set up a giant bug zapper with a radio in the middle. Yeah,
it was kind of cool. I liked the final battle, actually. I thought it was pretty good. Gamera pulls all sorts of mad crap out, and so does Legion, actually.
Yeah. There's the energy whips, there's the lightning, there's Gamera gets out in fire breath, and then he opens up his chest after suffering from the quickening we were talking about,
Yeah.
and completely blows Legion away with an energy beam.
It's kind of cool. It reminded me a bit of the ending of the most recent Godzilla film. Actually, he's so massively destructive once he gets going. It's kind of awesome. Really quite enjoyed this one. This was kind of good. It's nice to actually watch some Gamera films I like.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think I still like the original. I know it's terrible, but I kind of like it. But I've liked these last two.
It was a cool sort of goofy Godzilla knockoff, but
yeah, this film got a lot of good buzz when it was released, certainly in Japan, and there was a lot of compliments about the alien design as well, which I thought was pretty solid. It was kind of a bit Lovecraftian.
It's kind of cool to see these like non-standard monster things.
I kind of like the unusual ones. I'm a big fan of Biollante, for example.
Biollante, the early forms of Destroyer, and this.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of imagination and ideas going into these Gamera films. It's a shame that the dubbing doesn't serve it better, really. But I could be wrong. The actual plot in Japanese might be as incoherent as it is in English. Who knows? Yeah. It doesn't matter that much. It just, as long as you don't pay too much attention to it, so it vexes you. So as long as it doesn't vex you, who cares? It doesn't matter. It worked quite well. I kind of like some of the music as well. The model work wasn't quite as good as Toho's, but it wasn't bad. It was alright.
No.
And like I say,
I think the design of Legion was like up there with Toho's sort of monsters.
Yes. Oh yeah, it was very good design. I think I'm with you. I prefer the first Gamera film in this run, the one just before this. There was just some nice arty shots in it as well.
And it was kind of cool to see the Gauss updated.
Yes.
I do kind of wonder what they do with the other like older Gamera monsters.
Yeah.
If they had to update them.
Well, the next one we got is called Iris, which I don't know anything about, but we'll be watching that next in these Kaijus. I think we've decided we're going to watch it next because it does come next chronologically anyway, so it kind of makes sense. I think there's also a bit of a callback to the original film in that we see the Tokyo Tower still unbuilt, if I remember rightly.
Like bent in half from the Gauss landing on it.
Yeah. So the implication is the Legion is this swarm of aliens that are travelling, colonising across the galaxy by creating these big explosions to seed themselves back into space.
Yeah.
And they then perhaps terraform the planet they're on, not by conscious effort, but just by their existence, they start terraforming planets they're on. It's kind of cool. I liked it. There's some good ideas in this. What would you give this one out of 10?
I'd give this about a 7.
I kind of liked it. I'm still a much bigger fan of the Godzilla films, but I kind of like it. I think I'm going to give it a 6, but it's a high 6 for me. So next time was it Gamera, something of Iris?
Revenge of Iris.
Revenge of Iris. Cool. All right, bye from me.
Bye.